Hey, Curvis, my lovely, 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 lovely Curvis. Welcome to episode number 63 of the Curve the Cube podcast, brought to you by Flintstone Media and hosted and produced by me, Jemmy. I just want to say what's up and hello, and welcome to another great episode. And this episode features Jen Blische, who is a really incredible fiber artist. I never even knew that was a thing until I started looking into Miss Jen. And how I know Jen was through the Kravis Center. I'm part of a tweet up group, and it's really cool. I get to see a bunch of their shows and stuff. And I'm not exactly sure how that happened, how I got involved, but Jen runs that program at the Kravis Center. So that's how we met. But Deshaun Allen, if you go back probably about 20 episodes maybe by now, you'll find Deshaun's episode. He is, look for Mako Cheerleader, and he told me that a little secret about Jen, because he's involved with Kravis Center too, knows her, that she is an artist, and she was in a band and all this stuff. And so I looked into her, and I was like, what? Jen is awesome. And so I said, hey, Jen, you need to be on my podcast. And she said, hey, Jemmy, I will. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. So she does really cool fiber art. And what fiber art is, she makes soft sculptures, like little animals and woodland creatures and fun things from characters, and they're really, really, really exquisitely done. The detail on these is just fantastic. Some of them look super lifelike, some of them more look like characters that you would see in a storybook or something. But you got to check out her stuff, and it's really neat to see how she has created opportunities for herself. She is involved with Artists on the Ave now. She does, she has tables there every so often. So go check her out. Look her up, Wullen. It's not W-O-L like you would expect from wool. It's W-U, so it's W-U-L-L-E-N by Jen, G-I-N-B, B-E-E. So go to wullenbyjenb.com. You can also find her on Facebook. And on Twitter, same thing, Woman by Jen B. And on Etsy, also very important. Go check out her Etsy store. And we also talk about like how she used to be in a band and called In-House, a band called 900 Seconds. And she just is a super creative force, and she's so awesome. We had a really, really great time sitting down for this podcast, and I think you will too, as you learn about how to take a seriously cool and very unique passion and do it every day and live by it and be successful. So welcome to the podcast with Jim B and Jen Blische. And this podcast was sponsored by the Pizza Girls. The Pizza Girls are Palm Beach's top spot for authentic New York pizza. And if you haven't delighted your taste buds at Pizza Girls, what the heck are you waiting for? They're located right there in Flagler. So next time you go down to Clematis and hang out, go to the end where you would see Flagler and go pop in the Pizza Girls and have yourself a slice, and you will not be sorry. And if you mention the podcast, you get 10% off, so that's extra cool. And rewind to episode 17, and they were my featured guest, and you'll meet them yourselves. And that's it. So thank you to DJ John Hitta for my music beds. Look up Curve the Cube on everywhere. I'll just leave it at that. Everywhere. Curve the Cube is everywhere. And make sure you follow, subscribe, review, post, comment, all of that jazz, and I will love you forever and ever, but I already do. So sit back and relax for this, the 63rd episode of the Curve the Cube podcast with fiber artist, very, very cool, Jen Blische. Enjoy. Curve the Cube will now initiate.
I think you'll like this one.
Thank you. Awesome.
I like to pretend I'm a millionaire sometimes and treat people. Well, it makes me feel like I've come far in this world.
Oh, you're so funny. I appreciate it. It looks yummy. Should we cheers?
Cheers. To the new Kravis Center season.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Crazy.
I'm
we have
so
the best
excited.
season next year. I can't wait.
So, how I know you is you work for the Kravis Center doing promotions. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even realize. I'm sorry.
Are you ready?
Yeah, of course.
Are you sure?
Sure.
Do you need to get anything and bring it back? Are you good?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
You're good. Awesome. So, how we know each other is through live tweeting stuff at the Kravis Center, and I'm really, really excited
excited every time I get to be a part of that. It's a total privilege, and so thank you for having me involved. I love it. And,
you know, it's kind of funny because people are always like, "Thank you, Jen. Thanks for like having me," and it's got nothing to do with me. Yes, I choose like the tweeters when I'm going through it, but it's really the Trauma Center, and I get to like feel like I'm doing something so wonderful.
But you make it enjoyable. So thank you. It's great. It's a good time. But I remember when I think it was Deshaun Allen who told me that after we or maybe it was during our episode, I don't remember because I've had him on as a guest, but somewhere in that conversation with him, he shared that, oh yeah, Jen, she used to be in a band with her sister and all this stuff. So I'm like, what? And I went and Googled you. I was really interested, and I found all this other stuff, and you're so artsy and crafty, and you're super talented, Jen.
No, none of that stuff will ever make me a millionaire, but no.
Are you guys, did you transfer from the bar to here?
Yes.
Okay, cool. If you need anything, I'm tuning in. Dominique and I are working together.
I'd love a glass of water.
Yeah, sure. You want one?
No, I'm good.
No?
Thank you. You know, it's funny. It's the second time I've said millionaire, and it's honestly the last thing on my mind. I would never want to be a millionaire with all of the
Too much pressure.
Oh yeah, it's all the stuff that comes along with that.
I mean, I think I'd deal, but it's still a lot of pressure.
I guess I could figure out a way to get by with that. But really, I do. But you know, I always grew up in kind of a humble environment that was very artsy, and just have always appreciated
Did you
that.
ladies want some menus?
No.
Okay.
They're good, thank you. So I think that, that kind of set me off on a life journey that was far more creative, and it kind of set my priorities in a different way than maybe some other people would have their priorities set.
Yeah.
I never had any kind of monetary goals other than having a safe roof over my head, and food if I need, if I was hungry. And that was it.
So it's about exploring your creative side.
Always. And for as long as I could remember, I mean, my dad is a professional artist. His name is Herbert Weintraub. And he's, for as long as I can remember, all I wanted to do was run upstairs and sit by his side in his art studio and watch him paint.
Oh, no kidding.
And he set that kind of real important message, It's an important message because it's to the core, it's who you are to the core, right? He was saying, okay, there are things that you can go after in this world for different reasons, but going after something artistic or creative is probably as genuine as you can get as an individual.
I was going to say the word the truest.
Yeah, it's the truest because it's coming out of you.
Right.
And there are some really great people out there in the world who do some really wonderful things, surgeons and all these people who keep us healthy when we need that. But that wasn't where I was going in my life, and I knew that.
Yeah. Well, good for you for being brave and exploring all this other stuff. And
yes, thank you.
I mean, when I saw your artwork, and I'm like, what is fiber art? I literally have never even seen anything like that before.
Right.
That was so extremely interesting and unique and quirky and super cute, and I just instantly loved it and wanted to know more. Like, how did you first discover fiber art? Did you see it somewhere? Did you come up with it? Like, where does that come from?
Oh no, I definitely did not come up with it. Just like any other medium, paint, clay, whatever it is, fiber art is just another medium that has been explored way before I ever got into it. And I think it started in the 80s, actually, when there was a couple, I believe, that had developed this, and their names are escaping me. But so that's really when that kind of, I think, sculpture came to be.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what they were doing with it. I don't know if they were making cute little bunnies or if they were making some kind of brand, whatever. But and I should really look more into them and their history with it. But so no, I didn't start it at all.
You just stumbled on it, or?
Okay, so this is how it worked out.
Yeah.
I was doing these.
It's just so unique. It's so interesting. Yeah.
And that always makes me laugh because, yeah, they have my unique flair. They definitely have my personality in them and stuff. But, well, what happened was we started doing these sculptures, my dad and I, every Halloween. Mm-hmm. We wanted to do something really outrageous in my new neighborhood that I lived in to kind of make a point to show my neighbors that I was the artist in the neighborhood.
Yeah. To stake your claim a little bit.
Yeah, I wanted to stake my claim,
yeah.
right. So I started making these giant sculptures with my dad for Halloween that were outrageous. Like I did the Headless Horseman with a real-sized horse made out of burlap and joint compounded latex paint, and just like making these giant sculptures. And then what ended up happening was...
And what's great about that is everybody ends up seeing because everyone's trick-or-treating.
Yeah, I mean, we developed such a fan base that every year people ask us, what are you doing this year?
Oh, that's awesome.
Or they slow down while we're working on it and they're like, what are you working on this year? You know? So it was always so amazing. And so my dad and I have done some really great things. We did the Headless Horseman. We did Beetlejuice. We did all of the classic monsters. This past year we did the Oogie Boogie from A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he never knows who these guys are. He just like says, except for the classic ones. He's okay, just show me the picture and let's get to work.
Yeah, so great.
But the thing was, I wanted to sculpt something that was smaller and that was reasonable for me to do all year long.
Yeah.
And so I started to just explore Pinterest and see what was out there as far as sculpting goes.
Yeah.
And I came upon wool sculptures, and it's needle felting, you know. But what makes it, I think, a little different in my case is that you could take it as far as you want to take it, and I'm an obsessive person, my personality, and I just decided to take it as far as I could take it.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I think that my stuff is garnering the attention that it's getting right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's super. I love it. I love it all. Like, what was the very first thing that you tried to create? What was your very first?
The first thing I did was an old Jewish man, and I have to tell you that because it really, really looks like an old Jewish man. I named him Irving.
Okay.
And he has a heart on him, and he is just this white wool sculpture of a man with very, very skinny legs, and he's just really cute.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was my first endeavor into this. The second thing I ever felted, which my twin sister Abby has, is a girl from the 40s with a beach cap on, and she's holding a ball, and she's in an old-fashioned swimsuit.
Oh yeah. Blue swimsuit. Is it?
No, it's not the one you're probably.
Oh, I was thinking Darla. I think.
No.
No.
She came along much later.
Yeah, but I do remember the one.
Yeah.
I did see it on your website. Yeah.
She's cute though, this little one, and I gave her to my sister, and she has it to this day in her guest room.
Oh.
And I love looking at it every time I visit, and I'm in, the guest room. I see it.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my very, very first sculpture that I did. It's nice.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed that your creatures are very, there's like an emotion behind them, there's a personality embedded into them, there's expression on them, and I noticed that like some of them are very nature, lifelike, true to nature type things, cats and things that I saw that looked like they were real, like the owl sitting on the windowsills, like that is amazing. And then there are these other ones that are more like DreamWorks animation, fairy tale-ish, side. So I was wondering, is there a character that you envision while you're making these animals, about these creatures?
Well, first I should say I have a lot more fun with the fantasy stuff.
Oh, really?
Than I do with anything that's a realistic thing. I'm happy to do realistic things.
Yeah.
But I will be more than happy to put a cape on a squirrel any day. Okay?
I love it.
I just really,
Have
really...
you, by the way? Because you need to. You have it.
But I really love putting them in clothes.
Yeah.
I love giving them personalities because, yes, you can look at an animal and you can kind of create a persona for that animal when you look at it.
Yeah.
But if you look at an animal that you put in a tuxedo,
Yeah.
or some kind of Shakespearean outfit,
It's a whole nother level.
it's a complete other level. And it also gives me an opportunity, I think, to showcase the details that I'm willing to put into a piece.
That's true.
You know, not that I just want to, but that I'm willing to take the time to do, which is one of the things that I kind of pride myself on. I think when you look at my work and you'll see that, wow, there's a lot of detail in this.
Yeah.
Well, it's not there by accident. I'm like really taking the time to do that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. There is a lot of detail, like little, different buttons or different. Just I noticed it. And I thought I really love your things. They're really super
Thank
cute.
you so much. Thank you. You know, it's funny because I'll even, at some point while I'm making it, as soon as it starts coming to life for me, it'll put a smile on my face. And there's only a couple of things in my lifetime that I've created that have done that. Okay?
Yeah.
It might have been a great song that I wrote back in the days of in-house.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of reliving that same experience, but with sculptures
That's
instead.
interesting.
And it's really thrilling because there was a period of time after the band had disbanded.
Yeah.
I was performing here and there, but it was nothing like being in the band.
Yeah.
And so there was a period of time where I was kind of void of a creative outlet. And it was very sad. It depressed me a lot.
Yeah.
And I found this, and it seems to be filling that void somehow.
Yeah.
It's like filling something in my gut. It's putting smiles on my face a lot.
That's good. Were you conscious of that void when you were in it? Did you realize you were in it?
I was so conscious of it.
Yeah.
And I think one of the big things that I was missing was, I mean, yes, we love that pat on the back more than anything. We love the clapping,
Right.
the hands after a performance,
Totally.
and the camaraderie of the fans, and all of that. I mean, that's a life that I wish everybody could experience that kind of love.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that kind of love it's just incredible.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better than
I
that.
saw a couple of videos of you guys on stage, and the crowd loved you.
No, I know. It was just,
Holy crap.
It became almost like a cult.
Yeah.
Where we were just as involved with them as they were with us. We knew so many people back then, and still to this day, I have maintained friendships with the majority of those people.
Wow.
So, it was one of the most amazing times.
Yeah.
And so when the band broke up, and before Facebook, I lost them all. I lost touch with everybody.
Right.
And when
Because it broke up around 2000 or 19, right before 2000.
Facebook had not kicked in.
Not really. Yeah, it was still MySpace.
Right. Then we were having this 10-year reunion, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to find all these people. How am I going to find them? All I had were names and addresses, and some of them had gotten married, and some of them, whatever. So I started writing on Facebook to everybody I could find on our mailing list. Are you the so-and-so that would come and see in-house?
Yeah.
And they would be like, oh my gosh, Jen, it's me. And before I knew it, I had at least 800 of my fans back. So I was very, very excited about that.
That must have felt so good.
Oh yeah, it still does.
That's awesome.
It's just nice to be able to connect.
Absolutely.
I'm the biggest fan of social media. I really am.
Isn't it so much fun?
I love it.
living in that
I
world.
absolutely love it. I don't see how I lived without it before.
Right? Now let me ask you a question and it's difficult for me to admit this in a public forum, but I have to maintain authenticity.
Okay.
Because I have a reputation at stake, okay? As the female Aaron Warmus, I believe you called me
Oh
one.
my gosh, yeah.
And I took that title very righteously. I really truly appreciated
Aaron's
that
great,
to
yeah.
a
You
major,
are.
massive degree.
You are.
So here's my confession. I don't get Snapchat. It's beyond me. I don't get the points. I don't understand. So, do you?
No, as a matter of fact, Snapchat's not one of them that I've really gotten myself involved in. I'm into Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook primarily. I love Pinterest.
Yeah.
I have stores on Etsy.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm into all of those things. But no, Snapchat's not one. LinkedIn's not one that I've gone into.
Yeah.
Although it's probably one that I possibly should explore for the craft center.
You should. I've gotten into LinkedIn in the last couple of months, really, like a lot more, and it's really working for what I'm doing right now, but it's working a lot. It can be a really good forum for you in a different kind of way from everything else, but it's good.
Well, it's really funny because I do have to, for my job at the Craft Center, I do have to explore everything that could possibly reach people about, ticket buyers.
Right.
It's one of the things. You want to make sure that people who love this particular type of art form know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to look at all of that. There's so many different things on social media, and you really have to find which ones would work best.
Right. One thing that could might be of interest, at least in getting other people who would be of the nature to voluntarily help spread the word, would be if Craft Center, which I don't know if it does or not, has a company LinkedIn page, and then they create a group page that they moderate, and they can invite everybody who's interested in local arts in the Florida area to be part of that group. And you just constantly update. You're so adorable.
But we would be an amazing we would be the best, the dynamic duo.
So much fun. We'd have a great time. It'd be a party every day, and I honestly don't know how much work we'd actually get done because it was too much fun.
I know.
So I wanted it. So it's funny when I was looking into all of your stuff. I brought back all these memories for me because I used to live in Virginia for a couple of years, and when I lived there, I got into making hemp jewelry, mainly necklaces. And so, I worked.
This side of you I haven't met yet.
I forgot it existed.
Okay.
So I worked at Michael's. Okay, so when you work at Michael's, it's like part of the unspoken requirement that you delve into some sort of arts and craft and spend half of your paycheck right back at the store.
Gosh.
So my arts and craft of choice was jewelry. So I used to build making lanyards when I was a kid, and I realized it's the same knot, and I just kind of went with it. So that's just necklaces, and I had all kinds of spools of hemp, beads for this, spacers for that, clasps, all kinds of things, pendants. And it took up a pretty good amount of space. And I was thinking, I can only imagine how much space, all the stuff that is required for you to do what you do, takes up. And so I was really excited to see that you have a workshop that you call the Beehive.
Yeah.
I thought that was first of all, great name, because it's Wullen by Jim B, right?
Right.
And how did that whole concept come about? How did you decide to go ahead and make it work? I mean, you really dove in deep, you were committed.
And at first I was just doing it in my house on my dining room table.
Yeah.
And I think how it came to be was Larry, my husband, was just tired of wool everywhere. He was like, this is crazy. We need to create a space for you and designate it, just for your wool and for you to work. And I think it could be better, and I think that we can improve on it. But right now it is my space, and he's happy that I'm working in my space and not on the dining room table anymore. But as my sculptures are growing, as I'm doing more and more stuff, I did need to have some kind of a system just for the sheer amount of wool that I was getting.
Right.
Sheer amount. But anyway, so I had so much wool coming in from a farm in Maryland. I was constantly in Elkton, Maryland. That I just had so much wool coming in that we just needed to create a system that I could keep it in order. It was just getting to be a nightmare, honestly.
It was like half for your efficiency, half for Larry's sanity.
Oh, definitely more like 75% for Larry's sanity.
That's so funny.
I know. I wanted to make him happy, but I do like working in my space, and I get my Netflix there, and I get to watch my shows while I'm working.
Nice. That sounds like a kind of your own little heaven, your own little space. That's great.
I am in heaven when I'm around tons of wool. For some some reason, that the wool thing is like, it speaks to me. I don't know what it is. If I get a batch of wool in the mail, I get so excited. I can't get to like a box cutter fast enough to open that and see what I got, honestly. And then I take it out and I feel it, and I'm like, I never thought I would be that person. But I am somehow. That rock star has become a wool star.
A wool star. Yeah. Oh, and for clarity, and for people who might be looking you up, it's Wullen, Wullen.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that to mess people up. I mean, maybe it was. I don't know why I did that. I think that even with In-House, the band, we named it In-House because my brothers used to have these in-house jam sessions in the basement. But years later, we were competing with anybody who wrote in-house catering, in-house, pest removal.
Right.
And so, like, when you would look us up years later, it was impossible, right? So we were like, and everybody wrote in, then house.
Space house, yeah.
And anybody that wrote the in-house band, people call you, are you performing at this place? And I was like, no, that's the in-house band. We're in-house the band.
Right. Oh my God, what a mess.
But
what a mess.
Yeah, I know. It became a big, big mess.
I can see how you wouldn't think of that right away, though. But
no, you never really think when you're naming yourself. But anyway, Wullen came to be, and so I'll fly with it, and we'll hopefully everybody will maybe it'll be like OVOO, like
right. It'll just fly off. Everyone will know it.
Well, if anybody's looking for it, they'll definitely. I'll be in the top of the organic search.
There you go. Oh my gosh, it serves its purposes. Well, my name is spelled Jaime, which always messes people up. They always want to spell it Jamie. And even though I grew up with that, never being able to find a nameplate or anything that had my name, I still, naming my son Jordan, still decided to spell it atypically. It is Jordon.
And so the drama continues.
One generation.
He's never going to be able to find his little license plate for his bicycle.
I know. I would learn my lesson.
I know. Well, years ago, I was named Jin because I was the third Virginia in my family. Mm-hmm. So there was a Virginia, a Ginny, and I got Jin. And Jin was never anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, except for a bar.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Right.
Which I got to find much easier as I got older.
Random little labels here and there.
I was I could find Jin real easily now.
It's on this whole. It's all over this wall, right here. All over this wall. Favorite wall.
Oh my gosh, it's too funny.
Oh my gosh, I wish I had a wall like that. That'd be great. I don't know what it would be on it, but it'd be great. A wall full of something with my name all over it. It'd be funny.
It was so funny. I met this guy once on a plane, and he said, and I told him my name. I'm like, yeah, I'm Jin. And he goes, do you drink gin? And I said, no, my name would be Jack if that was the case.
Right?
And he ordered he said Jack Daniels and a Coke.
So funny. Well, I remember the first time we corresponded, it was online, either Twitter or email. I don't remember, but I didn't know if you were male or female because I'd never seen the name before.
Right. Right.
Well, listen, I don't know if it's
That's the way I like to.
Is it I don't know.
Nobody knows what I am until they meet me. I like that.
So let me ask you: Is Blische, is that Irish or is that?
Well, it's funny because we were having a conversation here at the bar with the people that were sitting next to us.
Yeah.
I'm like one of those people. I make friends with everybody. And they were asking us how to pronounce it, and it's actually not Blische. And it's not Blische, and and it's not Blische. It's Blische here in the U.S. But if you went to Germany and somebody read it, they would say Blische, like Porsche.
Blische. Wow. Interesting.
I'm married into it. I just had to deal with it. And when I call people, they always think Belushi. Or even better, bitchy? I'm like, no, Blische.
Really? Come on.
I'm like, yeah, no. I am about to get very bitchy if you don't get this right.
Oh my gosh, I feel your pain.
Sorry, I don't know if your podcast has curses on it.
Oh, you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Right on, here we go.
So, what you mentioned before, we both mentioned that you get all your wool from this particular farm.
Yes.
How did that happen? Why did you decide to do that?
Okay, so I was looking for supplies here in Florida.
Yeah.
You know, the first thing was I was like, let's go to Michael's and see if they have anything I could use for needle felting. And they actually had a very small section with really horrible wool. Sorry, Michael's.
So, and
you can improve on that.
I used to work for them. Doesn't mean I have any loyalties anymore. From a long time ago.
I love Michael's, though I really do. But their needle felting section really
could use some improvement.
Yeah. But anyway, so I was like, no, there has to be something better. And I started to explore, and I came across Serafina, who is wonderful, Serafina Fiber Arts. And that is not only who provided me with the wool, but also who taught me the finer details of how to needle felt.
Yeah.
And since then, I've developed a relationship with them. And just recently, I went and visited the shop that I get all my wool from.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I got to meet all of the people that sign all my invoices.
Up in Maryland?
Yeah, Maryland. Because my husband's from Baltimore.
Oh, nice.
So, so we just, we decided to take a little detour and go and visit them.
You really, truly dive in when you when
Oh, you're not kidding. That's how we did it with the band, too. I just loved it so much.
Oh, my gosh.
But yeah, my life, I take it very seriously.
That's good,
You know what I
though.
mean? I love my life. When I say I take it very seriously, if there's a passion that I have, I'm not going to leave a stone unturned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to really make that passion work for me. And, but I'm a very, lighthearted person, too.
Yeah. So, speaking of making that passion work for you, I noticed today you had a table at, what's it called? Artisan on the Avenue, right?
Yeah. Today
you had a table. So, and that's right here, right up the street.
That's the gallery. I have my work in two galleries. I have my work in the Brew House Gallery, which is up north a little bit in Florida, and Artisans on the Ave here in Lake Worth, Florida. The gallery is such an amazing gallery. When you walk in, I can't say enough about this place. When you walk in, you totally feel like you are engulfed in creativity.
Nice.
There are so many different types of artists at this gallery, and everything is so well done, which was one of the reasons why when they approached me about being a part of the gallery, I was so honored. I was honored.
I bet, yeah.
And I think that one of the things was that, I've been in this community for so many years, and this place opened, way after I had lived here, so I'd seen it have different incarnations and stuff. But when it opened as Artisans, I think that one of the things I appreciated was that, number one, everything is so well lit and so well displayed, and it's so organized in there.
You can tell someone cares.
You really can, and that's the way art should be treated.
Yeah.
Art needs to be displayed in a way where the person who would see it, who feels passionate about owning it, would feel like, I would totally be passionate about owning it, and they're obviously treating it as much as I would be passionate about owning it.
Right.
That's really important to me. So I'm a part of that gallery, and yes, I had a table there today.
So how did you, I was going to ask you how you kind of gave it away a little bit, but how did that opportunity come about?
Well, they encourage their artists to just take a part of, either having a table. The whole idea is for me to work and show people how I'm working.
Yeah.
Because it's a mystery. When people see my sculptures, they don't get it.
Yeah.
They don't get it right away. They love them. They think that they're interesting and fun, and and I definitely sold enough to feel like it's something worthwhile. But I feel it's very important to show people the effort that goes into creating a sculpture like this. It's not stuffing. It's creative wrapping and compressing and painting with wool and creating a personality and anything that would go into any kind of major piece of art. That's what goes into this.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that anybody that comes along gets to see that.
I know some of your pieces are posable and without giving away the farm. How do you do that?
No, I'm totally happy to give away the farm because again, honestly, I feel like it's what you put into it.
Yeah.
And there are so many great needle felting artists out there that have their own flavor. You'll see a lot of the very same stuff out there. There's a bunch of people, not as the same as mine, but a lot of people that, like anybody, could be follow a cookie cutter pattern.
Yeah, a standard.
Yeah, a standard. But if somebody comes across something that they can get passionate about, they're going to put everything that's in them behind that art. And that's what makes me different from any other artist, right?
Right.
But what I do when it comes to creating these things, I prefer to put an armature underneath it. It's a lightweight armature. It's made out of aluminum, and I build a skeletal system. I try to make that as true to the skeletal form of whatever I'm creating. And then it's about creative wrapping and felting it. And so if you're interested in looking at how to do it, there's definitely plenty of YouTubes out there.
I think you should start a YouTube channel where you show people how to do it. Do you have one?
Well, I don't have a YouTube channel maybe I do have a YouTube channel. It might be Wullen by Jim B on YouTube, but...
Okay, you need to start using a YouTube channel.
No, but here's the thing. This past Christmas, I decided to make my first needle felting kit. And I did a whole YouTube tutorial on YouTube.
Okay.
A YouTube tutorial on YouTube. Here's the funniest part about it, and I will be honest and tell this microphone this. All right, so I filmed this thing myself, okay? So I turned on the video camera, and I sat behind a table, and I created this snowman sculpture for people to do. And they sold really well over the Christmas holiday. Everybody wants to learn this new craft that they're seeing, right? So
it comes like a kit with everything in it?
Everything in it, and I literally open up the kit on this video.
And you show
and I start building this thing, and I'm talking throughout it, and I'm teaching you, whatever. And it's a great video. But the funny thing about it was, I'm literally like a newscaster where I'm in my underwear. I'm telling you, I'm sorry people, you gotta hear this. I'm in my underwear from the waist down, but up top I'm like all dressed up, and I got my hair down, and my makeup done. And now I've got to get up and turn off the video camera at the end of my video. So I get up to turn off this video, and I'm thinking, oh no, people are going to see me in my underwear. So I'm like kind of creeping around the table.
This wasn't live though.
No, it wasn't live. It's not a Periscope or anything. But it was like, I'm filming this video. So now I have to edit myself in my underwear out of this video. It was so funny. So then we went and we did this like art fair with my stuff, and we showed this video at the art fair, just as kind of like a demo video or whatever. And I was so scared people.
That it was gonna.
I was like, remember, honey, to turn off that part. I was telling my husband, don't let it get to that part. It was very funny. Since then, we've edited out me in my underwear. It was very funny. All right.
It would have been a whole different show.
Oh my gosh, yes. It would have gotten a rating,
One of those movies with like a really good ending.
I always save the best for last. They think they're just learning how to make a snowman.
Oh, no.
And on that note, I'll take another sip of my wine. Cheers. Calero's is, I have to say, plug Calero's. Because this is one of my favorite restaurants in Lake Worth.
It's really cute over here. I've never been. It's funny because I used to, Lake Worth used to be one of my major stomping grounds. And it wasn't until I turned down here that I was like, wait a minute, oh my gosh, I haven't been here so long.
I know.
So it's
a great town.
Yeah.
And I think that like I took a time off where I wasn't also coming here, but then when I got involved in the galleries, it kind of reintroduced Lake Worth to me.
Yeah.
I lived here for so long.
Yeah.
I lived here for like 15 years, and so this was my neck of the woods.
Right. I love this place. Totally lost train of thought. I'm sorry. I forgot what I was going to ask you.
Let me reel you back in.
But it's okay. So I will just skip to this other train of thought. Oh, no. So you also offer like workshops and classes and stuff?
Yes, and I'm so excited. This Thursday night, and I don't know how many seats are left because it can't be too big, or else people will not get the attention they need.
Right.
But this Thursday night, I'm teaching a workshop, and it's a Valentine's themed workshop.
Fun.
And it's a cat. that I developed. It's called it's called Kitty Love.
I saw it. So cute.
Yeah, he's really cute. And these are part of my Bendy Cat series, which is like a cat that could be bent in all different ways and look comfortable whichever way it's positioned or whatever. And they're really cute. But anyway, so yeah, that's going to happen this Thursday, the 11th.
Awesome. I mean, this unfortunately doesn't come out till like the 15th.
Yeah, so you missed it.
You missed it.
Sorry.
But I will note, but on that note, let me make sure I plug for you and jump in. March 24th, which is a Thursday, at Artisan on the Ave, I believe, during the Judaic show.
That's a show that's going on there, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not participating in that particular show, but I always encourage people to come out to all of the art shows and art openings for not only this place, but also Clay Glass Metal Stone Gallery.
Okay.
There's a gallery on Lucerne that's really great, and it's escaping me. I can't believe I can't remember it. Anyway, I do encourage people to to go to these art openings because the galleries put so much into them. And they put out wine and they put out cheese, but you have to go there and see all the great art.
Yeah, I just went to the opening of Foundation Fine Art and covered it, and interviewed a bunch of artists there during their grand opening. It was really, really fun. It was like a couple of weeks ago, and it is really
Rolando.
Nice to see, sorry, what'd you say? Oh, was that the name of the other gallery?
Yes, Rolando.
Perfect. Yeah, it is fun to see all this creative work and all displayed in one area and get to know the stories behind things. It's really a nice experience to go to the gallery.
Well, one of the things that I learned when I was working at the gallery was that there are so many people in such a small area that have so many different visions of art, and that whether they're working with jewelry or like Adriana Ficarelli or photo Adriano Ficarelli or there's so many different types of art that people are bringing to the fray, and it's amazing and it's so inspiring.
You know what? I just had a thought, and I can't do this myself, so I'm going to toss the ball to you, or maybe whoever else is listening. A cool meetup would be like once a month, artists of totally different, mediums and everything.
I think it's a great idea.
Coming together, and everybody creates on the spot something under one theme. So it could be the theme of Earth or love or
together. You mean
travel? Yeah, and so you all meet up at like some space. I don't know where. And so you have sculptors.
Would you bring him?
Story. I guess so. Sure, why not? To find it, but and under one roof and hang out for like 3 hours and create something together under one theme.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
So when are you doing it?
Christ almighty. I have so much, I don't have enough on my plate.
I know.
Tossing the ball.
You're like me. You're like, what else can I do? What else can I do?
I'm never satisfied unless I'm totally busy like crazy. Unless my plate runneth over.
Yeah. I totally get you. That's why you and I get along so well.
Oh my God.
We are made of the same cloth, I'll tell you right now. But I did want to tell you something exciting.
Yeah.
2 things exciting, actually.
Ooh.
So my nephew is a director in Hollywood, and he's a great director. He's incredibly successful. But he has this show coming out on Fox, and he's a producer and director for this show. It's called Son of Zorn.
Son of Zorn.
Yes, look it up. It's gonna be amazing. It's like got this He-Man animation with all these real humans interacting with him. It's not He-Man. It's like his far-off cousin or something.
Right. And of relation.
Yeah, and they have this son, him and this woman, this animated character and this woman, and the son is a hybrid of the two of them.
Oh my gosh.
It's just absolutely wild. And Jason Sudeikis is the voice of Zorn.
Stop it.
And Tim Meadows is in it.
No
I mean,
kidding.
it's just crazy. So he texted me the other night, and he says to me he wants me to create a couple of sculptures for the set.
What?
I'm so excited. That's all right. Yes.
Oh my God.
So I'm doing that. I'm working on that, and that's coming
so
down the road for me.
cool.
So you'll see like all kinds of pictures and stuff hit my website of these sculptures.
Oh my
that I'm
God.
doing. Yes, it's gonna be great.
So exciting.
I know, it's really exciting. You have to watch the video. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if there's something, we got to watch a preview of it because I saw them over Christmas, but I don't know if there's something out there that you can see, but there's definitely images, you can see it, whatever.
So exciting.
It might be keeping a lot of it under wraps, but Jason Sudeikis is so great as the voice of this character.
He's amazing.
I love him.
That's incredible.
Absolutely love him. Okay, so then the second thing is that on April 8th at the gallery, I'm going to be putting on an art show, and it's going to be a very unique art show because it's all of these fascinator hats. You know the British weddings? How they all wear these bizarre hats?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to make a whole bunch of them out of wool. My own design.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
It's a fascinator art show.
Oh my
It'll be fascinating. But anyway, But I got a ton of them. I could keep you here for hours. I could bore you here for hours.
Oh my gosh.
No, but that's going to be a really great one because I've always really been interested in how somebody who has so much influence in Britain could show up to an event with scrambled eggs on their head.
Seriously, like the goofiest, weirdest shit.
I'm not kidding, really.
Like between that and like what's that horse race where they wear the weird Kentucky Derby hats?
Kentucky Derby.
It's like
hats.
What's going on?
Hats are important, but at least those Kentucky Derby hats are just big.
Right.
British ones are just outrageous.
So weird.
They're just crazy. But anyway, I love them.
To see these.
And anybody who watched like the Will and Kate marriage, right?
Yeah.
They remember like the
Pippa's butt, but aside from that.
No, besides Pippa's butt. Everyone's looking Pippa's butt. But do you remember the cousins?
Yes, exactly what I was thinking of as soon as you said it the first time. Exactly what I was thinking of.
And that's exactly what they were going for. They wanted people to be talking about their hats.
Right. It's an easy way to get frontline news.
So that's my next show, and that's April 8th.
Oh my gosh. And that'll be at the gallery? Yeah.
Yes, at Artisans Gallery. And there'll be plenty on my website, you know.
Yeah, where can people look you up and get in touch with you and stuff?
So, okay, I have a website, Wullen, Wullen, by Gin, GINBBEE.com. And
in case you really need it, buy is spelled B-Y.
Oh yeah, buy is B-Y. Even though I'd like you to B-Y, B-U-Y.
Right?
But anyway, so, see, I'm so funny.
You are so funny.
Oh my gosh, I think I should give up this wool career and go into the comedy world. Get into the comedy field. All right, so, okay, that's one place. And of course, I have a Wullen by Gin B Facebook page.
Yeah.
And my own Facebook page, Jen Blische, which people could find me at. And everything else. I have a Pinterest page, I have it all.
And Etsy, right? You're on Etsy?
And I'm on Etsy. I have an Etsy store. But for some reason, it's hard to find my Etsy store. If you search Wullen by Gin B, it doesn't pop up.
You know what? I'm going to search until my fingers fall off, and I'm going to make sure I include it in the write-up.
Oh, please figure it out.
I will.
Because I'm having a hard time figuring it out.
I actually have it in my notes already, capitalized, Etsy, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Make sure that I find it.
People like the Etsy store because they can buy things with PayPal, but not on my website. You can't buy them with PayPal. You could just use a credit card or whatever. But so sometimes I send people to my Etsy store if that's the case.
Yeah. And you do a lot of are all of your creations one of a kind, or just...
I say anything handmade, doesn't matter what it is one of a kind. Because there's something different about each one.
That is true.
But yeah, to this point, I haven't really done a lot of duplicates of any character.
Yeah.
Let me think. Have I ever done a duplicate of any character? No.
Yeah.
I've never done a duplicate, so yeah, they're all one of a kind.
There you go.
They're one of a kind.
There you go.
And I get that from my dad, who paints, original paintings and doesn't make prints of his work.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say is like the similar vein that fed your soul from being in your band and being creative in that way? You wrote music, you sang, you play guitar too. You're amazing, by the way. So
thank you.
I was like, what? And then and doing your fiber art. What's the similar thing that it feeds in you?
I would say probably the fact that I really love the story. Stories are so important to me to tell. I'm a big talker, I love to just to talk about different things and tell stories about my life and stuff. And I think that in writing songs, I was always trying to tell a story, and not necessarily about myself. It might have been an invented story, you know. And with felting or sculpture, I'm still trying to tell a story, and it might be, you know, something that I've invented in my head, and I'm probably not going to share with you, because I really want you to, just like my music, kind of build your own story.
Yeah.
You know, but every single one of my pieces, whether it be a song or a sculpture, all comes from the idea of building a story.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know, when you say that, it makes me think back to when you were talking about, you know, how you much prefer to put clothes on these animals and make them more humanized. Right. So when you think about all these little characters that you created, do they continue to exist for you in the sense of, you know, I'm thinking about Schultz, who wrote, you know, the Peanuts comic book, and how those characters existed for him in a way, or oh my gosh, all of my super nerd fans are going to kill me right. Stan Lee, there you go, I got it. Stan Lee and his Marvel characters. God, I got it. You know, do these actually become characters for you beyond the creation process, or?
I'm trying to think if any of my characters have kind of developed more of a substantial connection to my life. You know, I can't see any of, because when I come up with a theme, like for an art show, which is how I develop most of my work, I'll come up with a theme, I'll create the art for the art show, and then they'll sit on my display until somebody falls in love with them. I can't say that any particular character has resonated with me that much, where I would want to continue to let that character evolve into something, you know. I think that when I'm making a sculpture, that character lives very, very wholeheartedly in my mind, my psyche, my heart. Because you really kind of have to do that. I mean, to create any kind of personality behind anything, to give life or character to anything, where somebody might stop and look in the eyes of this thing and be like, wow, that's great. You're going to have to do that, because if you don't do that, that's exactly how people won't see it.
Right.
You know, they'll walk past it.
It'll be plain and flat.
And I have to give credit, credit to this one guy who came to one of my, not in my art show, but it was one of the first times I was really displaying my work in a gallery. And I created a rabbit that had a lot of that life and personality behind it. But a lot of my other pieces, they were like shark eyes. They just kind of existed like doll eyes. You know, they just didn't have that life behind them. And he said to me, "See that one down there?" He goes, "That one is great. It has life behind it." And he goes, "These other ones," he goes, "they're nice, but they don't really catch anybody's, and they won't catch anybody's attention." And he was right. And I think that back then I was so busy learning the craft that I wasn't really investing the time and effort into the personality or character.
Interesting.
And now I'm a different person with my sculptures. Now I know the craft. Every little bit that I learn at this point is just kind of icing on the cake and making me a better sculptor. But I spend an enormous amount of time with creating life in my characters.
Right. Is that something you think can be not manipulated, but pushed or forced a little bit? Like, which comes first, the cart or the horse? Do you know a character that you want to, do you envision this character in this life and then you create it in the physical form? Or are you creating something physically and then you're trying to invoke a personality?
That's a great question, by the way. I think that I will decide today I'm going to make a rabbit, and I'll start forming that rabbit. And as I'm forming him, subconsciously I'm developing a story behind him, and I don't even know that story until I've gotten to that place where I'm like, okay, the next phase is here, and I'm ready to start bringing this thing to life. So I didn't even realize it while I'm doing it, that under all that was going on, I had been building this story in my head. And then it's almost like I'm on autopilot. I just go to it. You know, like I've known this character my entire life.
And then once you create it, is it like it's frozen in a particular moment in that story for you? Like, is it like, oh, that's when he's standing by the apple cart,
or could he go
thinking about, you know, that's that moment that it like.
Everything that I make is fluid, and when I say that, I mean like I don't ever picture any of my characters just sitting there and staying there for the rest of their life. That's one of the reasons why I like building armatures, because I think that movement in your characters, it gives a personality to them and tells the story. So I think with each individual character, there can be a story developed from them. You know, you can look at one of my sculptures and you can say, wow, I could totally see this thing going on and you know, being here or having a relationship with this turtle.
Honestly, to be honest with you, I don't think you can help it. At least I know I couldn't. When I was looking on your website and I was looking at each, I mean, I literally looked at every single picture of everything I could find on your website, and every single one, I automatically envisioned where they were, what the scene was around them, what they were doing, what they were thinking. You can't help it, you know. There's this rabbit that looks like he's getting ready to lead a marching band almost or something, and I just kept picturing the cat that I believe you called a decoy of
Penny's decoy, right?
Which I was first of all, major kudos to you. It looks like it's extremely well balanced. I couldn't help but notice physically, it looked like it was in a state that if a cat was really in that physical state, it would hold its own, and it was so kudos to that. I thought that was really great. But I also couldn't help but I immediately thought of what I immediately painted a scene of what it was looking at and what it was doing and why it was in that. So you kind of can't help it, whether it's the nature looking ones like the owl sitting there or the ones that look like they're dressed up like characters. For me, something about your pieces, each one I immediately invoked like a whole scene around it. I knew who it was as soon as I saw it. I thought that was really captivating.
Thank you so much. That's actually one of the biggest compliments you can give an artist. I mean, that you can take that piece of work and see something beyond it. You know what I mean? It means that it matters. And so I think that that's an incredible compliment. And I'm just going to say thank you. I'm not going to say anything else because it really is. It is a very nice compliment. I'm moved to hear it.
Yeah, well, it's absolutely 100% true. So.
I have to tell you though, something, not to that, but my sister and I developed this character, and maybe it's a little poor taste, you know. I have to say, we have a little wicked
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
So
gotta meet her one day.
His name is Scatters, and I do want to develop this character in a felt. But Scatters is a cat that was actually crushed by a stack of newspapers in a cat hoarder's house. And so his name is Mr. Scatters.
See, I can picture it. Like, I can
Totally. But here's the thing. This nephew of mine that's like this great Hollywood director, he is also a really great illustrator. And he illustrated it. And I will show you after this. I'm sorry. I'll put it on my website so people can see it. But Mr. Scatters, and of course, you know, parts of his tail are missing, and he's not living. Well, all right. We're gonna create a whole thing about Mr. Scatters. Yeah, because he has 9 lives, so he's got 9 opportunities to be killed in a hoarder's house.
That is awesome.
I know.
I love it. Would you ever be a writer? Have you ever written stuff?
Besides songs, no, I've never.
I think you should.
I just thought that was so much. And the funniest thing was that it was over the holidays we were developing this character. And as soon as Evie being my twin, said, Mr. Scatters, because she was talking about like a real story, sadly, about a cat hoarder.
Here you are mocking it up.
I know. Well, she was saying it was so sad. She found her cat like You know, like 6 months later, she thought it ran away, but it was really like under a tower of newspapers. And then she just came out with it. She was like, and poor Mr. Scatters. And I was like, I love that name. And I think we laughed like in tears for 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
So now we're just
Mr.
developing.
Scatters, it wasn't in vain. It was not in vain.
You might see a couple of renditions of Mr. Scatters on my shelf in the near future, on my display. He'll likely have some flies buzzing around him.
That's terrible.
I know, it's totally terrible. But you know what? There's hope. There's hope for Mr. Scatters because he's lived 9 lives.
Right.
He could live 9 lives.
Right.
And the second life that he's going to live, he's probably going to eat some bad, like, cream that the cat hoarder kept in her.
It's just never going to end well.
No.
But, you know.
But he's brave.
Another one.
And he keeps going. He keeps going and going for 9 episodes at least.
And on that 9th, he has to be like, no, I really need to shut it down.
Yeah, he's had his 9 lives. We need to introduce a new
I can't
character.
explain this anymore.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be so awesome.
That's going to be that's our moneymaker right
I
there.
can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to meet Scatters. That's great.
We're going to have like Mr. Scatters. Save Mr. Scatters on bumper stickers all over.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Make him a meme.
Yeah.
The whole 9.
I mean, I get it. I get hoarders loving their cats, but they just can't handle them. It's crazy.
Did you ever watch that show, Hoarders? Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, I put it on just to make sure that my husband knows how clean I am. If I don't pick up something, I'm like, let's watch Hoarders. And remind you how neat I really am.
Appreciate what you have.
I'm so neat. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, that could work on so many levels. Like, if you start gaining weight, put on like My 600-Pound Life, and be like, see, honey, it's not that bad.
See, let's put on, like, let's watch. There's so many shows for everything. Okay?
That could work in so many ways.
I know. It really can. Oh my gosh,
We're terrible people.
Taking another sip of wine.
We are so terrible people. Anyway,
I get all this hate mail from hoarders now.
You apologize.
I can't help being a hoarder.
You apologize. Not really.
I'm so sorry. I'm a hoarder.
It's the wine. We promise. It's the
I know.
wine.
It's the wine. We're getting to that.
Oh, we
the
are.
best part of this interview.
Oh my God. All right. No, for real. All right. I think.
All right, back to the purpose of this.
Back to the purpose. So one more thing, and then I think we need to shut it down.
Because before we know it, everybody will be writing us bad letters.
So I love this quote I saw from you on your website. It says, creativity is my life. The possibilities are endless. So I wanted to know what part of your soul does fiber art make happy?
Well, all right, to be honest with you, and this is kind of a little sad, to be honest. Not that this whole interview hasn't been honest. But okay, I think it's time to be honest.
I say it all the time, and I was like, damn it, I just basically said that I've been lying all the way up until now.
Everything has been true up till now. I had 2 dogs, and I raised them since they were puppies. They were both rescues, and there was something, you know, when you have a dog's face in your hands, and you're looking at them in their eyes, and you're petting them, and you're stroking them in a way that their ears are going back, and you're just continuing, there is something that is so, gets to the core of you as not only a pet lover, but just love.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And
I've had 2 dogs,
so you get it, right? And I think anybody that has pets in general, that loves to stroke their pets and see the love in their eyes. So this wool is reaching me at a level that I'm like working with this wool, and I'm looking into the eyes of these characters, and no, it's never going to replace the love that I had for my dogs, which will exist always. But the texture of this wool, the softness of this wool, and the importance of how I create the eyes of my characters is doing something for me. It's crazy, right?
I can see that. I totally get it. I absolutely get it.
I mean, I have literally like looked in the eyes of these things, and I wait till I have that feeling before I call it finished.
Wow. Well, that's why. That's probably what made that rabbit stand out. You probably were doing that when you were looking at that making that rabbit and you didn't even really realize what you were doing.
And I do a lot of stuff, not just rabbits. But rabbits are my favorite thing to felt. I don't know why. I'm not a big rabbit, I don't own a rabbit.
Yeah.
But I did when I was a little kid, I think. But, yeah, I mean, it's very important that when we were in this time in our lives, in this world, where everything that you hold traditionally is now, traditionally, I don't even know that. Traditionally, where did that come from? Everything that you hold is hard. Oh, that doesn't sound good either. Oh, look, somebody else heard me. Like you're holding your iPhone. People, get your minds out of the gutter. You're holding your iPhone. You're holding your iPads. Yeah. You're holding a mouse, and you're on your computer, and you've got this glowing light in your face all the time, and it takes up such a large part of our lives.
It's true.
It's crazy. So how about bringing you back to something where the texture of something is what matters?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it evokes some kind of a sensation.
Yeah. Your favorite blanket.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, yes. Your favorite blanket. Or favorite shirt. Sweater.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing. And if anybody's going to ever think that feeling didn't matter, they're lying to themselves. Because we just have been so inundated with technology and glowing lights and, all of these handheld devices that we've lost track of that.
One of my favorite things in the world, when I wake my son up in the morning and he's still in that twilight.
You're going to make me cry. Go ahead.
And I'm holding him and all I'm thinking in my head is I got to get this kid to the bathroom before he's on me.
Right. Is that what you're thinking, really?
No, not really. But what he's doing is he has his arms around me and, I have really long dreadlocks now and he's literally half asleep but he's stroking my dreadlocks. As I'm carrying him.
Oh my gosh.
And it always makes me think, I wonder who is loving this more. Because I'm loving the feel of his fingers in my hair and the affection that resonates. And I'm jumping into his perspective and just thinking, this is security for him.
This is so secure for him. He is feeling those. He's knowing that that's home for him. He's feeling your hair. He's knowing that this is mom and this is safe. And honestly, and that's it's
I'm
really
crying right now, but
it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll never get that from a device.
Yeah. So when you're talking about the texture being so important in something, it's absolutely true. It's very it goes back to some of our most basic essences.
Yes, I totally agree. And that's not to say that a guy never ever ran his hands down the beautiful design of
that sentence because 5 minutes ago you had
I know. A guy ran his hand down this beautiful, sleek car.
Yes.
And said, "This is a beautiful thing."
Yeah.
But there is just something so to the core when you're holding something soft and warm and has expression. Like. Not to put down the thing that I absolutely am passionate about, which is about social media. I love social media.
Right.
I do. I love connecting with people.
Right.
But how much of that is us needing to get something out and not getting something back?
All the time. Because what we get back is very vanilla, very bland. There's only, it's likes, it's hearts, it's favorites, it's follows, it's sometimes there's a comment in there, but it's still not the voice of the person telling you themselves. It's not anybody you know.
Right. And it's satisfying to something in your life. There's a satisfying connection to that, but it'll never be that stroke of your hair in the morning.
Yeah, it'll never be that.
We can agree on that.
Yeah, and that's why,
for sure,
your favorite teddy bear or your favorite whatever was so important.
Or blanket.
Yeah.
Right? Or the sculpture by Blische.
I agree. And on that note, I think I encourage everybody to go to your website, check out when you're going to be, wherever you're going to be, and always go and see your stuff. Check out your Etsy page, which I promise to include a link in the write-up, and buy your stuff.
Oh, Jimmy, you're so awesome. I'm just going to say that right now. We need to because you are just so awesome. And I can't wait to see you from Motown because we're going to have a great
We're gonna
night.
have such a good
I know,
time.
I
I'm so
can't
excited, so excited. So, would you like to sign off?
And what should I do to sign
Okay,
up?
so
Amen.
it's super easy.
What?
That was awesome. Or
what?
just be like, I'm Jen. Is it Blische?
Yeah.
All right.
Unless you're in Germany.
Yeah, and then we just say, "Oi." That's not German at all. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oi,
And then
we're going to tell you. All right, this is how I'm signing up. Okay.
And then say, "This has been Curve the Cube."
Oh yeah, okay, here we go. This is Jen Blische, sitting with Jemmy, having an awesome time at Calero's restaurant, and you are listening to Curve the Cube.
Yay! High five! Awesome! Good times. Great
Oh
job.
my gosh, that was so
was
much
so much
fun.
fun.
I can't wait to hear it.
Cheers.
Amen.
You have successfully curved the cube.